My name is Dixie Ray Garrison, and I am a proud LGBTQ plus school leader. My journey as an LGBTQ plus school leader began just about a little over 6 years ago. I'm a little bit late to the party, and then coming out just in the last 6 years, it's made a little bit of a splash in my community. Being that it's a more conservative community here in Utah. And I had a lot of fears. But I have some life experiences that prompted me to not show any shame for being who I am. And I felt like you don't want to put blood in the water by showing fears or weaknesses, that I really had to just come out and own who I was and be authentic as an individual. And it was definitely something that was not advisable. I had many close friends and mentors speak to me about keeping myself closeted or not being public about who I am. So I went against that advice because, like I said, I have some life experience, having had a brother who was gay and died by suicide. That prompted me to really honor his memory by not showing shame or letting any kind of self-loathing creep in, or trying to live a lie or just not be who I am. So I remember the day that I told my boss. I called my district supervisor over, and I came out to her, and her face just kind of dropped, like, oh. She was certainly taken off guard by that, and was not expecting a principal who she's known for many years. I've been in the school district 22 years. Was not expecting that to be a conversation. And she quickly regrouped herself and started talking to me about how, she supported me, and she was respectful of my lifestyle change. And she was just very comforting to me, and told me that she even went so far to say, well, you're part of a protected class, nothing bad can come of this. It was, I think she was trying to wrap her head around it, while at the same time showing me support. Because even just 6 years ago in this community, it was very different, and a lot has changed just rapidly within the last few years in Utah. So that was an interesting experience. I had many tell me that I was committing career suicide, that I would definitely mark myself as somebody that the school district might not want to put up as a pillar in the community or consider for future leadership positions. But I've always been a person of principle, and it took a lot for me to accept myself at that time. But once I did, I was like, I'm not going to let this impede me in any way. And I'm certainly not going to dishonor the memory of my brother by allowing it to, damage my life in any way, or I just didn't want to hide. So I've found that the more confident I am about who I am, the more people respect that. And I've also found in being a school leader who identifies as LGBTQ that there are many parents who are thankful to have an adult role model that they can point out to their children as somebody in the community who is LGBTQ plus, like their child might be. And I've had a number of parent organizations. There's something here called Rainbow Mutual. Different parent organizations reach out to me to have me come to their events. There's a group that was founded specifically to help LDS children or those who are of the LDS faith. Brigham Young University is in Provo, Utah, and there's an organization called Encircle, and they've created safe houses that are resource centers for families. And I've worked with them and taught classes on grit and resilience to students and young adolescents. And, it's just been a wonderful experience for me. I've only had a few incidents of harassment or any kind of backlash. There's nothing that I'm aware of that's taken place in my school district that has affected me adversely. I've always felt supported by my district leadership, and especially in my principalship here at West Jordan Middle School. It's a diverse school. We have a little bit different demographic than the rest of the district. And I've found that my community here very much accepts me and supports me. And, I just feel like I fall right into this diverse culture that exists here in West Jordan. It is a challenge to know if you are safe as an LGBTQ plus leader in doing advocacy work because of the conflict of interest or perception that might be held that you're pushing an agenda of your own. That shouldn't be the case. I think that every educator should be doing work around inclusion and educating people about various groups of minority people. So that's a definite challenge, and I've been careful to work through others sometimes, so that I'm not seen as the gay principal who wants this gay group or whatever. I will sometimes rally my faculty members or work with another principal on an initiative, or work with a district staff member on an initiative. So I think that's definitely a challenge that I've had, where I'm afraid that I'm going to be seen as giving special attention to my demographic or my community as an LGBTQ leader. So that's always a hard thing to navigate. One of my biggest sources of support is my school board member. I have a wonderful school board member who presides over my precinct, and she's a tremendous advocate for the schools in her area. And she's also a tremendous advocate for me personally. It just so happens that my school board member's sister, her only sister, happens to be gay. And she herself happens to not be a member of the predominant culture. It's a school board member. She has a tattoo, um, which in our conservative community might preclude you from a lot of things. But she's a representation of our community that is diverse here in West Jordan. And she has been a friend and a advocate for me and my school and everything that I try to accomplish with my school. She's always looking for ways to provide resources and support. So it's very comforting to know that I have a school board member who has my back and sees me for who I am and sees me for, my work as a principal. And she definitely values my whole identity, which I appreciate. And then, my children have been wonderful as well. They are a tremendous support to me. And I've always had an incredible faculty and assistant principals and people I've worked with. I would say my faculty is fiercely loyal to me, and they would never stand for anything disparaging to be said about me or my identity. So that's a wonderful thing, because if I had a faculty who was distrustful of me or felt like I wasn't a good role model or a ethical leader or whatever an LGBTQ plus person could be branded with, that would be extremely difficult. And I've never felt like I've had to do anything extraordinary to win them over. They've just always been a support to me. It means the world to me to have a forum where we can network as LGBTQ plus leaders. As far as I know, it's the only organization of its kind. And it has just been incredible to hear the stories of our various members and to hear about their experiences in their respective states. And there's a lot of commonalities, and then there's also a lot of differences, and everyone has their own individual story, and everyone's journey is unique. And it's been an amazing resource to network, to learn from each other. At one of our most recent meetings, one of the assistant principals in the group mentioned, thank you so much for the support. It really means a lot to me. And that is very heartwarming. I think that was the biggest part of organizing the community. Dustin and I were wondering, is there a way for us to network? Is there a way for LGBTQ plus leaders to reach out to each other and have a forum where we can discuss issues that are pertinent to us? And I think I remember in the beginning of organizing the group, at one point we were talking about opening it up to anyone who would want to join. And then we had to step back and say, no, this is actually a group to provide support to a specific demographic of school leaders. And I think it was kind of hard for us to accept a little bit that we were doing something for ourselves and not just for everyone else, because as you know, as principals, you're trying to take care of everyone. And so I feel like it's as much for me as it is for anyone in the network. Like we're all there as equals to discuss our issues and, you know, any challenges we have. And so that's been an incredible thing, is to have a network that is so focused and provides specific support to the LGBTQ plus leaders and principals that are out there. I would invite any LGBTQ plus school leader to join our network. It is a wonderful professional organization. We've been doing a book study. We have member highlights. There's always opportunities to share. And I would definitely encourage and invite anyone to join us. And I would love to hear individual people's stories. I would love to hear your journey as a school leader. It's definitely something that brings me a lot of joy. And so I would just invite any LGBTQ plus school leader, principal out there to join us and grow the network and provide more and more resources for one another as we go forward in our careers.